Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market. Of course, we take a look over there at the stock market, which is set to open up in 5 minutes from right now. We'll take a look over there at the US dollar currency index, or the DXY, and any type. And of course, we'll look over there at metals, and then we'll take a look over there at any type of financial news as we get ready to start the day, and any type of crypto news as we get ready to kick the day off. Today's Markets in the Morning will be a little bit quicker than usual. Usually these run about an hour and a half. We're going to try to keep this thing actually closer to about 30 minutes this morning, as I'm working on several other things today as we get ready to wrap up, getting things kind of wrapped up before we get into the holidays. Again, I will be off December 21st through December 26th, which is this Thursday through next Tuesday. So just reminder of that. I've been trying to remind you guys of that every day. And of course, I announced that a couple of weeks ago. So just getting ready for the holidays, you guys. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Christmas over here. All right, let's go ahead and dive right on in. As we get ready to kick off the day, Bitcoin sits over here at 42,680. Yesterday, during Markets in the Morning, Bitcoin was really falling. We were down at like under $41,000 in the morning yesterday. And then throughout the day, the market just turned green. The whole market turned green yesterday morning. And it's like bipolar disorder and retail sentiment right now. Whatever the price action of the day is, the retail sentiment goes one way or the other way, one way or the other way. A little bit of red. Oh my gosh, are the altcoins never going to go up again? Are we all going to die? And then it goes up a little bit green. Bitcoin ETF! it's just kind of back and forth like that in the seesaw right now in regards to sentiment that's going on out there in Twitter and markets and everything and all that. But, yesterday we started off really red. Then we ended up finishing the day green throughout the cryptocurrency market as Bitcoin bounced over $2,000 yesterday. This morning kind of whipsawing around again. We do still have Bitcoin up slightly, 42,700. Altcoin market pretty mixed over here right now. The total altcoin market cap sits really flat, down 0.06%. For total 3, 0.15% for total 2, and up 0.06% for total. So totally a washing machine over here as we get ready for the stock market to open up in 3 minutes, which the stock market is going to open positive, it looks like. Right now, currently, before we get started and before the markets open up, the Dow's up. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit. It's up 17 points, so it's not up as much as it was a little bit earlier. The S&P is up 4 points, and the NASDAQ is up 15 points. So that's less than 0.1% between each index that they will be up. Looks like, which ones are going to be notable when they do open? Coinbase will be up over 1%, and that'll probably be the leader on our list. Everything else is either plus or minus less than 1%. NVIDIA looks like the biggest loser this morning at negative 1.32%. So that's how bad it is out there. The worst one, negative 1.32%. But there you go. Bitcoin, 42,730. Still riding along in here. This is where the Dow Jones broke into the all-time high back in 2020. Here you go. That's the moment where the Dow Jones breaks out into the all-time high here in 2023. Of course, we're all still just waiting along on how this will structurally play out. I have several ideas of my own that I'll probably share in the next couple of weeks. Just to relay that with you. As you guys know, I talk a lot about the retracements. It's very hard for me to visualize how Bitcoin is going to go into an all-time high. So, of course, everybody wonders, well, what do you think it's going to look like if that's the case? So I'll start working on putting that together. And in the 702 chat, I was talking with them about Bitcoin dominance too, and the illusion of Bitcoin dominance, and how while the perception is it's still rising, you can go check others' dominance, or the entire cryptocurrency market, excluding the top 10, and it bottomed in the dominance bottomed in June, like we've talked about here when we're always looking at that safety trade dominance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, and USDC, and how impacted Bitcoin dominance is by the the fact that USDT and USDC are included in the altcoin dominance. And then and not only that, when you remove Ethereum and you remove Binance coin, suddenly the whole thing looks entirely different. So we'll put something together for that in the coming weeks on the illusion of the Bitcoin dominance, and just to give you a quick idea why. There's your others dominance. Everything excluding the top 10, like we've talked about, the safety trade ended back in June. You can clearly see the reversal and the dominance of others has started in June. And you can definitely see it in here looking at all the indicators that everything has reversed in here for dominances. But if you go follow the Bitcoin dominance narrative, it's no, Bitcoin dominance is rising. It's taking the storm. But look at the rest of the market. Not so true. So we'll put something together on that in the coming weeks. And then we'll start putting together something on what the visualizing what the top of Bitcoin could look like in the event of things like this in here. And especially as we're talking about like the NDXT and distribution and looking over here to like the Bitcoin top back in 2021 distribution, the final push up. Some more distribution and an upthrust after distribution, and then all things get sketchy as can be, and you can just see the first super chat, first comment that comes in here. You can just smell it, the fear in there. Merry Christmas, God bless. Do you still see more increase for altcoins, and will you pull everything from the market when the Dow hits the 4.236 extension? Thank you very much for the super chat, Mark. We talk about. I don't think you watch any of my content, brother. Did you watch the video I put out yesterday? That's kind of like what's happening with the market right now. Everybody, every single day, wishing-washy, back and forth, back and forth. That's a good sign for the market. Whenever we're approaching the end of times, it comes with the unwavering confidence that we can't go down. When the comments on all of my tweets are, "You know nothing. You didn't get this right. You know nothing. We're going up. What would have happened if they would have listened to you in this circumstance?" That's what we wait for whenever that overwhelming confidence of retail does come in. It's still climbing that wall of worry, and those altcoins are still that worry and that concern and that fear that it's not, that the rises are not going to continue. It's once it gets absolutely astronomically astronomically confident that things are just going to keep going up for forever, and that there's no way we're stopping. That's when the things usually come to a conclusion, right? When your stepsister is text messaging you, telling you her husband just threw $1,000 into Doge when Elon Musk is on Saturday Night Live. That's a good sign. That's a pretty good sign. I don't think we'll get that again, but. Nothing. Just check yesterday's video. I pretty much put out a 25-minute video talking about kind of like my thoughts on all this stuff in here with rate hikes and the Bitcoin continuing to retrace, and how much time you've bought, right? How much time you currently have right now. Whereas retail does believe that rate cuts are going to be the ticket to new full-blown cycles. That's just not historically how things go. But okay, as we get the market kicked off and open for the Dow Jones, it's now been open for 3 minutes. The Dow is up 41 points. The S&P is up 7, and the NASDAQ is up 35. So a little bit better than it was in pre-market. Coinbase still up over 1%, but you're leading with ARK, Tesla, and Coinbase. Laggards of the day are going to be Nvidia, United Health, and Roblox. But as we've been seeing a lot lately, these things just flip and flop and move around a lot throughout the day. So just because we're starting here definitely doesn't mean we're going to be ending anywhere near here. You can see that gold and silver are up slightly today. So gold's up $4, silver is up 15 cents. DXY, let's get a closer look in here, right? We've talked about, crashing structures, how they can end. You can get one more dip in here that would usually produce some type of bullish divergence that would emerge in here for another dip, but that would likely mark the low. In this circumstance in here, you could see we got back to it, but we did not set the new low. So And keeping our eyes on that very closely. I'm not going to remain strongly convicted that this has to go set just a slightly lower low than right here, but it's the most common thing that happens. It's most common that we do actually go peak one more lower with a bullish divergence, and then it reverses its way back up. As we know, this was crashing structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5, 6 back to wave 4 within wave 5, and then plunged. Typically, you do set one more. Not necessary, obviously, but typically we do. So we'll keep our eyes on the DXY. And as gold, taking that big whack back after that week where it opened up Sunday night into the all-time highs, just totally shot itself right back down. Last 2 weeks, been slightly recovering, but nothing in the form of how horridly this thing was rejected here from the top. But back over here to crypto as we start off our day. We are mixed over here in crypto, still continuing just ranging in here. So the market's not making a big decision here yet. You can see the altcoin market steps up, still sitting in here. Right? To get an idea of how I still haven't deleted this is from last week. You can see you just step up and step up and step up. Okay, we'll just say goodbye to all of it. I'll miss you. Mathematical calculations that I don't remember what they meant. That's typically how these things go. You enter levels, move up, enter levels, move up, enter levels, move up, and they're just ranging context. One full week of fun, then ranging. A full week of fun, then ranging. So either way, things are looking just fine over here. Nothing's out of the lines just yet. Stock market still continuing. It's just Bitcoin's been ranging here for the past week, right? And remember the euphoria we were having in Bitcoin. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago when all that euphoria happened, and there. Bitcoin has now been paused out of that peak there for 2 whole weeks. Euphoria, we're never coming down. It's always fun to watch it, man. It's always fun to pay attention to it live. And when you act in the opposite of the retail, you will get shunned. Fortunately for you guys, you have the benefit of being able to do it quietly. You just sit there and do it silently on the side. I have the luxury of getting chastised, but that comes with my territory, right? That's part of it. So I accept that is what it is. All right. Otherwise, guys, yeah, just kind of a tame day as we go into a Tuesday, getting ready for the holiday week to come in. I don't think there's too much to say that has changed here. And I think just as the stock market is open, the stock market has opened slightly up. Yields are completely mixed in here. No big changes over here in yields. Mixed over here in the stock market, yet indexes are slightly up. DXY, nothing crazy. We know the context of where we're at, keeping an eye out for it revisiting those lows. But my expectations personally are not that we'll see significantly lower than what we've already seen. It's most common. We do go a little bit lower, but not significantly. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on it. Gold, that'll be an interesting one to watch now to see if it can try to close that week above the highest weekly closes again, right? So you had the highest weekly close ever, and then all-time high, and then totally loses all of those weekly closes in here. So we'll see how this week goes, because right now, if it closed today, which is only Tuesday, it would still be taking out that 2020 high once again. So we'll see. As for Fed, nothing has changed here. We'll hit refresh. Let's see if anything changes. 89% probability that we're still going to be paused. You could see that rate cuts, markets pricing in 6 rate cuts in 2024. Typically the first 1 or 2 is where the market interprets that as being, yay, looser credit conditions. Everything is super exciting and euphoric, and then everything hits the fan afterwards. As for XRP, it was the same story yesterday, right? The whole market really whipsawed back and then closed green to finish out the day. Again, ranging context, ugly. We know that the 1.5 year long resistance levels right down here at about 54 cents. And so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that if we ever end up getting it. Otherwise, the range just continues on. And as we just look at it, we're just watching a range. It's worse than watching paint dry. So, all right, there you go. That's what you got for the day. A ranging day in crypto. A slightly up day over here in the stock market, up 68 points. Again, if you haven't caught yesterday's video, we talk a lot about this stuff over here. DXY pushing back down towards the lows once again, and gold pushing its way up. Otherwise, tame day. Not a lot to say that has actually changed in here, as this peak has set back over here 2 weeks ago from today, when euphoria really hit the market, at least for Bitcoin. But I don't see anything alarming, and I don't see anything really exciting for today. We just know that we just kind of keep shuffling up and entering ranges, shuffling up and entering ranges. And that's the continued theme as we keep moving our way up. And there's got to be a better word than bipolar. Bipolar sentiment of the retail crowd. Because it's day to day. It's day to day. So like, if you asked me, this is what I like to think about too. Like, when things are getting really overheated, like if you think of the altcoin market, what is the underlying sentiment in like the big picture for retail right now? Still extreme uncertainty. That's what I would say. Extreme uncertainty, and that's evident by the extreme swings in retail behavior on like Twitter. Where you could see one day extreme excitement, one day extreme pessimism, extreme excitement, extreme pessimism. It's usually when we get to where, the things to pay attention to is when retail does not get scared of the dip. That's the thing to always pay attention to. And we always know that because it happens every time. It's that moment that the dip comes and retail's not scared of it. That's the one to actually be scared of. So we don't have that yet. Retail's still super cocky and super uncomfortable, not cocky, of every little dip that does happen in here. So as long as we're climbing that wall of worry, that's good. It's definitely once we get to we're not worried anymore. We're only going up. We're never coming back down. That's where we got to be worried. But still, I put out a video yesterday. That's really what I see right now. I think, we've got a few months in here. That's all it takes for the altcoin market. It only takes a few months. That's how this thing has always behaved. All the craziness, it's all compacted, right? You've got years of trash. I'm gonna show you all your trash. There's your fun. There's your trash. Let's recolor it. And there's your trash. And so how much time does it take in the fun? $115, 120 days. And so that's what I was showing you guys yesterday. If you caught yesterday's video of where these things are happening at, specifically that fall that took place right here on August 17th. And how that's the same fall that we actually did have back in here in 2020. So time's there. The big question, the $1 million question in the big fight amongst everybody is, what about Bitcoin? Will Bitcoin go into a new all-time high? And of course, I've always taken the opinion that we'll go into a retracement for Bitcoin. And so that's, of course, makes me the enemy. But no matter what I do, I'm always the enemy. It doesn't matter. At the bottom, if you're a bull for a year and a half and the market starts rising, you're still somehow wrong. That's just how it goes, man. So whatever. I love you guys. I meet you guys in person. You say, don't let that stuff bother you. I know. All right, guys. So pretty brief day today. Mixed day over here in crypto. Stock market to the upside today. Up 68 points for the Dow, 50 points for NASDAQ, 11 points for the S&P. Leaders of the day are ARK, Coinbase, and Meta. Losers of the day are Nvidia, United Health, and Microsoft. Metals slightly up. Dollar slightly down 0.25%. Bitcoin 42,600 as we get ready for the holidays to kick off. Of course, I mentioned it like crazy to you guys. You've been bombarded with it. Either way, it's been my work for the last several months. Of course, if you haven't checked out the newsletter, check out blockchainbacker.substack.com, where we take lots of different data points from 2020 and 2021 to show how the market was different from 2017. As we know, in 2017, 9 out of 10 altcoins went on big runs. In 2021, the number was drastically lower, 2 out of 10. The average returns of the top 20 were way down from the top 20, but we found lots of different data points that actually performed much better than if you went shopping on the coin market cap and looked at the top 20 coins. You know, we look at that and we think, oh, these are the ones that must be the best. They're the winners because they have the largest market caps. did not translate into percentage returns. There's a lot of underlying data that had to be looked at in regards to development activity, percentage drawdowns, and circulating supply inflation. Finally, after all those newsletters that we've done on all of those, we put it all together, created a case study, went through and tried to craft different portfolios from 2020 based on different metrics to see what would be the best performer, and then applied that same methodology here to 2023 to see what would the current coins in the market look like right now with those exact data points. So that was released on Friday. You guys, no question, heard about that. There is a link in the description of this live stream and all of my videos, and there's a link there in the chat that I just posted. Otherwise, pretty tame day out here in the markets, guys. There's not a whole lot to say that has changed in here outside of Bitcoin just recovered the craziness that happened yesterday. It took it all back to the upside yesterday, along with the altcoin market. Let's take a look at that. As you can see here, when we started yesterday, market, and then boom, by the time the day was over, it came all the way back up and took it all the way back by the time the day was done. So unfortunately, in markets in the morning, we don't get to catch that. Last time we did markets in the morning, the market was all red. We don't get to catch the point where it goes, boom, the whole thing turns green. We come back to markets in the morning and we see red again. We're like, oh, another red day. But that's not the case. Remember, Bitcoin was below 41,000 yesterday, and this whole altcoin market did actually end up coming back yesterday. So otherwise, we'll just kind of keep our eyes on it. Tomorrow's going to be the last day of the week for me. Tomorrow is a busy day. We're going to be trying to do a video live stream, and I'm going to have an interview over there on Twitter or X with Genfinity. We're going to do a Spaces call there. So we're going to talk a lot about a lot of this data and all this stuff going on in here and how that impacted things and all that good stuff. And we always just chat about random stuff there. So that's a lot of fun. So, all right, we'll hop into the chat. I said I wanted to keep this at about 30 minutes this morning. It'll probably run past that. I'm really, really bad at that. But the whole point was we've got to keep it under an hour. Joe Hu says, hey, I've read your newsletter. Do you hold KSM? What are your exit zones for Kusama? Can you take a look at the Kusama charts? Thanks, you BCP. I own a little bit of Kusama, but not as much as I own Polkadot, just because I don't have a full understanding of Kusama. It's just a data point that matched the reference points. But let's look at the market cap. I wonder if we can even do that on here. I think we can. Okay, so there's Coinbase. Let's get off of Coinbase. Let's go to, how about Kraken? How are you looking? There's Kraken. So this was from those who read the newsletter. That was the December 10th measurement. So there you go. There's your Kusama, right? Is that how you say it? Kusama. So first things first, retracement levels, right? So what I always do, of course, is I go check market caps, especially on something like this. So in this circumstance, the market cap's very similar. Right? Kusama market cap. There you go. There's not a whole lot of difference there in that. So for me, the first point would be about retracement levels in here for Kusama. All right, so Kusama and Polkadot share a repository with each other. So there is a little bit of influence in there on those two. John trades. Can you look at the dot chart? I don't know what people want me to, when you say look at it. It's like, here we go. There it is, right? Bounced off the bottom. Everybody sold it at the lows. We're going to 12K. We're going to 23K. We're going to 12. We're going to 20K. We're going to Goblin Town Doom. Market reverses off of there. You can look over here at monthly timeframes. Beautiful bounce. Monthly indicators, strength indicators, all turn their way up. This is going to be something just kind of keep an eye on the rest of the market at the same time. This is one I think has more likelihood of going into all-time highs probably than Kusama, just because of the percentage drawdown with Kusama. But also very similar to like Ethereum Classics chart from 2018 through 2020 and 2021 as well. So otherwise, just monthly time frame bounces off support, holds 40 right? On the monthly time frame, strength indicators just massively turned all the way up. Moving along with the market, looking strong, looking good, right? And as you guys know, development activity, a top five development activity coin. So, but otherwise, doing what the rest of the market is doing. But thank you, Joe. Jaxer says, good morning, BCB. I see you follow 589 people on X. I was waiting for somebody to notice that. First of all, I knew I was approaching it. I knew it was at like 580, and I was like, all right, when we get there, I'll look. I'll probably keep it there for a minute. But I didn't notice that I had gotten there until the other, like 2 days ago. I noticed it too. I was like, hey, I didn't even know I was there, and nobody's made a comment. Thanks, Jaxer. M. Mally86, if the Dow is following Great Depression crash, how will Bitcoin run to a new all-time with the Dow crashing after a 4.236? Well, on my channel, I've always said I don't think that that Bitcoin is going into an all-time high. Right. And also, lots of people assume that you're going to crash like the Great Depression. What's likely, the most likely scenarios are things like this, where you go up, you poke above, you do one more poke, and then you slowly pull your way down, and like the Fed's cutting rates, retail is like, this is the most bullish thing, and retail keeps buying the whole way down until finally it gets so bad, everything just breaks, right? Like we saw with Luna, UST, Celsius, 3 Capital, then things start breaking, and then they're like, oh, crud. It's whenever retail is not scared to buy the dip. And so, like, right, this could be a long distribution that takes place up in here. And I just find it, I would be way more shocked if it is something like that rather than something that is a slow bleed. I totally think it's highly more likely that it's going to be a slow bleed and not a falls all apart on itself, right? And that's my bias that because we've hit measurements, we've made distribution, right? What if I'm wrong? What if it breaks out and goes into all-time highs? Well, then all my stuff is nonsense, right? This is just my thoughts. Dawn, member for 6 months. Merry Christmas, BCB. Your truth and integrity shines through. Thank you, Gator, Eric Martinson, Ed the Metalhead, Pat, Andy, Michael, and Oscar. Dang. Those are all the 702ers. Thank you very much, Don. Thank you for the kind words. Gas Tax says, on December 6, 2021, your video had 3 potential scenarios in crypto. One of them was slow grind for a year, more than Bitcoin going to 20-ish, then up to 98. What happened to that? Right. So that's me like signifying the bear market has started, right? People won't accept it. I'd already spent 3 months telling people this is it, this is the top, this is where we're going. Then boom, the whack happens, and it's like, all right, guys, that's it. Now we're going to come up with all different kinds of scenarios. In that one, my thoughts were we'd go down, like if that's a possibility, right? If it's even possible, I thought we'd come down and then we'd come right back up really quickly. Right. I thought it would whipsaw, and I showed other examples, not in that video, but in videos after that, because people asked me about that for a long time. What would that look like? Providing examples that we would just pull down, and then you'd shoot your way right back up really quickly, and then go on, and then it all hits the fan all over again. So just the amount of time that has elapsed, like whole resetting of all indicators, all everything, like to give the potential that this would be. Right, I know a lot of people out there want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I know a lot of people want to say that. If that was the case, for this to happen and for this to occur, for me, it should have whipsawed a lot faster. Because by spending all of this time, what are you actually doing? You're resetting everything. Everything resets. That it's not any of that, right? So, and this is pre-Luna collapse, right? This is pre all that stuff. So, those were just bear market scenarios for me, right? We're going to Doomtown, we're going to Goblin Town. Nobody believed it back then. Still, this is a situation where retail is still buying the dip on Bitcoin, going down here. Then we get down, and then it just got too far. So I still am going with retracements. Sam Pearson, hey BCB, have you noticed the insane increase in near protocol daily active users since August? It's only behind Tron, BNB, and Bitcoin now for usage. No, I haven't noticed it. And I don't know if there's truly if that can be reliable, because look at how many daily active users there are for Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. You know what I mean? Who's using Litecoin? Who's using Bitcoin Cash? I think there are some like third world countries that are using Bitcoin Cash. Like I think in India they use it and stuff, but I'm not saying India is a third world country. I'm saying, but there are places. There's like third world countries that use Dash and use Tron. But I don't know anywhere using Litecoin. Does anybody know anywhere using Litecoin? I don't know. All right, so here, I'll show you what he's talking about. Oops, screener. Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Saying near is behind. Daily active addresses. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Matic, Dogecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I don't even see near on the list for daily active addresses. I don't know, man. I don't see what you're saying. I appreciate the super chat though. De Black, member for 4 months. Hey BCB, what do you see with Zcash? It seems to be stuck. Shout out to Oscar Pat, my cousin Professor 702 crew. We're almost there. Yeah, I don't see anything crazy with Zcash, right? Whether or not privacy is ever going to be a thing, I don't think people care at this point. Maybe they will. Maybe people will care about their privacy with their money at some point. I don't know, man. We'll see. But from a chart perspective, no, there's nothing special going on there at all. Sir Lurker says, when selling your recently accumulated alts, will fib levels factor in your decision at all, or just news and events and sentiment? No, it's always charts, but I look for confluence, right? It's always charts first, and then confluence afterwards. Always. Like the thing we talked about all year long, not all year, years long, is that once we would get back to retracements, retail would become euphoric and they would all buy Bitcoin. Is that happening? Definitely. Right? They were pessimistic the whole way up, but as we get to retracement levels, they're starting to buy. And so the thing that's just going to be blatantly obvious, their retail is going to pile into Bitcoin here. They're going to become real second guessing. BCB, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. You said retracement. I don't know. That's not what everybody's saying. That Bitcoin ETF is coming. The news is crazy. It's on the front page of CNBC. Kramer, I don't know. But look at all these narratives out there. It's totally great and wonderful. Where were those people here? People didn't care. It was going to break down. We're going to go to 12K. I saw so many content creators with this, right? They weren't using this arrow. They were using this one. How many of those? You could go find those on big accounts everywhere. That right there to 12K. Then we get up here, but then you latch onto the narrative, and I always quoted it from somebody on Twitter named Helene Meisler. Her pinned tweet says, "Nothing impacts sentiment like price. When price gets up, we'll justify anything. We'll say anything is going to do whatever." But notice that as we get back into retracement levels, the Bitcoin confidence becomes much stronger. And so we always said would happen. We'll get back in here and they're going to become raging bulls, that they're going to new all-time highs. We just said it for forever. Like the pessimism is always going to be there until we get back to the retracement levels, and then they're all going to YOLO buy. And dude, who thinks the Bitcoin ETF is going to happen at the 702? Like, can you script this thing? Can you script it? Can you tell me we're living in a simulation, that there's magical unicorn fairy dust, a puppet master pulling puppet strings, God simulation, whatever, man. If that Bitcoin ETF comes out at the 702 retracement, I'm just going to throw my headphones against a wall. And then buy a new pair. But dang. Yeah, but in the end, it's about getting into retracements and those things and extensions, right? And so what we know from 2021 is we know not everything is going to go. I mean, we know it, right? It's 2017, 9 out of 10 go, 90% in 2017. 2021, 22% go. That's a totally different market, right? So it's going to have to be mixing. It's going to have to be really understanding Bitcoin, really understanding the altcoin market. And then for individual altcoins that do get big runs, getting to their extensions for me, right? They hit their extensions, bam, out. Then it's going to be about really isolating down when that altcoin market cap has exhausted itself. And then it's just got to be cut, regardless of what has moved and what has not. But it's all charts. It's all charts. I just poke at sentiment a lot because the fantasies and the narratives and the baloney, right? The nonsense out there. It's just kind of laughable. I mean, I think a lot of us know it is. Sometimes it's in the stuff even we hold. We like the narratives are baloney. Like it's like, not that we're perpetuating them, but I look around at a lot of the narratives of stuff I hold. I'm like, okay, that's not true. I hold Bitcoin. I don't believe in 90% of the baloney pushed out there by Bitcoiners. I hold Bitcoin, right? I hold a lot of XRP. I don't believe in 90% of the stuff said about XRP, right? So, you know, it's about charts first. So we're just kind of going through that together. But it is very interesting to see how retail is pouring back in here. And I can't wait to see it, how euphoric it's going to be should it get this push up higher into the retracement levels of what retail will be like. And just how, you look back for those people who stuck through here through all this stuff and all that talk about once we get back to the retracement levels, that's where the retail investor euphoria will happen at. And to get to witness it live. And when you get to witness it from the perspective of not being caught up in it, but knowing that's what was going to come and then getting to watch it happen live as it's occurring, where you knew it was going to happen at, that's what it was like for me in here when this happened. And then when Elon Musk and Tesla announced Bitcoin and the laser eyes and diamond hands happened, that, I've recorded videos and talked about it. And people had asked me through C19 of, why would anybody buy Bitcoin off of you for $50,000? Don't you understand that, people are out of work? We're wearing face masks. We're wearing gloves to grocery stores, 25% unemployment rate. We're getting stimulus checks. People are worried about surviving. They're not worried about paying $50K for a Bitcoin or it shooting to that upside. And it's like, nah, it will. And there's the video. All the videos are there, guys, from 2020, still on the channel. And then when we get there, Elon Musk, Tesla, laser eyes, diamond hands, and the biggest distribution event ever happens there. And just somehow, some way it did. And it was just unreal and unbelievable. And when you had that perspective of going through these and the first one, you get caught up in it. That's just how it goes. When you get into the markets, you get caught up in that. And then you get caught up in the pessimism and the torture and the horrid. And you go through it and you start really realizing, wait a minute, this crowd thing, they're always wrong. Always. Wrong. And I can name all of them. Charlie Lee going on to CNBC. We're going to $50,000, right? Tone Vazen crew coming on there with their, 9 candle stuff saying, hey, we're going to $1,200 to $1,800. Instead, what does it do? It holds on top of the 200-week moving average, right? Then we zoom all the way up in here. This is where everybody's saying, sell all of your altcoins, get out of your altcoins, buy Bitcoin. Everybody's capitulating on their altcoins into Bitcoin, back into the retracement level. C19 happens. Boom. We're going way down. We're going way down. Do not believe for half of a second anybody who sits here and tells you that this market knew this thing was reversing out of here. The pessimism was so horrid here, right? Charlie Lee, 50K. Tone Vase, $1,200. Everybody sell all your altcoins and buy Bitcoin. Oh no, we're not unemployed. We're never coming out of this. It's never going to happen. We're doomed. How could you think we're going to 50K? Tesla, we're all buying it. Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live. Laser Eyes, Diamond Hands, we're going to the moon. Oh no, just admit it's a bear market. It's never going to happen. We're never going back up. El Salvador, everybody spend $30 to buy Bitcoin. Oh no, we're going to 100K now. You don't know anything. Oh no, we're going to 12K now. You don't know anything. They are always, always, always wrong. Every time the crowd. And then once you finally get disconnected from the crowd and you're like, I'm not part of you because you're wrong every time. It's like, okay, somebody's 50% wrong. Okay, somebody's 60% wrong. It's like, okay, you're kind of wrong more than you're right, but like you're not wrong every time. The crowd is always wrong. And once you totally disconnect from that, you can say, wow, what is the crowd like totally doing, right? And so it's real, a growing experience for a lot of people if we really watch this crowd get overly cocky, overly confident up here. We had to climb the wall of worry the whole time. But then once we get here, if the crowd is just ridiculously cocky, it'll be a really great sight to see, just for a learning experience for a lot of people. But okay, I went on that ramble way too long. All right, Sir Lurker, thank you. Crypto Quester. Hey, BCB, so glad you're using Santiment and Sandbase. Here's another one with solid dev data, including comments and reposts to pass along. Cryptometheus. Okay, I've never heard of it. Okay, I am, on another note, I'm not sponsored by anybody. You guys know that. Another one coming out with one today, Ryan Selkis, right? What is his called? What's his thing called? He's coming out with his big report today. I'm going to be reading that today. Masari, right? Masari Crypto. Oh, dude, he just released it 5 minutes ago. You might have to be a Masari Pro member. I don't know. I don't care. I'll pay the $50 if I have to do that. Okay. All right. Crypto Quester, thank you. I've got it pulled up on another tab. I'll check it out off stream. Thank you, brother. Richard Biddle, hit the like button. It's free. BCB, I own 25 coins, but sometimes I feel like I'm spread too thin. Is there any benefit to consolidating? It's actually a really good question. And that's something that's really addressed in here. And it's all about how you're playing the game, right? If you did it from a math perspective, right? We all want to say, I'm going to pick 5 coins and I'm going to pick the 5 winners. The probability is very low that you're going to be able to do that. Even if you picked like the top 5 dev coins, or you picked, based on whatever data, we run through simulations in here. And the analogy that is used is like, let's say, you're going to set a rule and you're going to say, I'm only going to buy from the top 100 cryptos, right? And let's say you're going to buy 20, right? The way to think about it is, think about you've put 100 balloons on a wall and you're now going to start throwing darts at this balloon, or at these balloons. Mixed between all 100 of the balloons are your cryptos, and you have your winners and you have your losers. In there, only 22% of them are going to do anything meaningful. And like the average return out of all 100 is 700%. There's a couple of them in there, though, that have like 8,000%, and a couple of them that have like 20,000% returns, right? Out of those 100. But out of those 100, 78 of them are going to be really bad. Really bad. And you have to throw 20 darts at that wall. Well, what happens if you're able to like find a specific way to remove a large chunk of those 78, right? If you found a way to, let's say, cut it in half to 50, where there's only 50 balloons, you're still going to throw 20 darts, but there's only 50 balloons now. And of the 50 balloons that you removed, 9 out of 10 of them were garbage. You found a way to remove it. So now you're going to be throwing your darts at 50 balloons, but your odds are even better, right? But in those 50 balloons, there's only three grand prizes in there that are going to do massive returns, that are going to do like a Dogecoin or do like a Solana. There's only 3 in those 50 balloons, right? You're going to throw your darts at there, and you're going to throw 20 darts. There's a chance you'll hit it. But if you only throw 10 darts, or if you only throw 5, your chances are much smaller, right? There's strategies to dwindle it down even more to get that total that you're going to be throwing your darts at to like only 20 balloons or 30 balloons. But the fewer darts you throw, the more unlikely it is that you're going to hit the one that was the big mega one. Right? So that's it's kind of the way to think about it. And I completely understand when you have 25 or 30 assets, you just kind of look at it like, how the heck am I supposed to actively watch all of these all at once? And that is a difficult thing. So in here, we played with different things, right? We played with 20 coin portfolios, and then we played with 10 coin portfolios, right? But getting below 10, I don't know, man. Like, good luck. Like, just you have to really be throwing the Hail Mary of all Hail Marys, which I think is way more luck than skill if you end up landing on it, just mathematically. But their strategies is like weed the balloons down to get not being 100 balloons, but only being 30 balloons. And that the average of those 30 balloons and the median of those 30 balloons is much better than the whole collective set. And I don't know if I've done a good job explaining it as I did in the newsletter with throwing the darts at the balloons. But it's about trying to remove all the empty balloons before you start throwing the darts. But knowing that in all those balloons, there's only like 3 or 4 mega winners, mega grand prize winners in there. And the fewer darts that you throw, the less likely it is that you're going to hit it. You know what I mean? So it's a mix, right? Of, what do you feel like managing, and, what do you not feel like it? So we played with different things. We went through 2020. We played with 10 coin portfolios. We played with 20 coin portfolios. We played with different types of 10 coin portfolios and what they would have done. And you can just kind of see it in there. There become like when you choose to focus on this data with a 10 coin portfolio, it forced you to miss this thing. Or if you choose this aspect, it forced you to miss this other stuff, right? But when you did 20, it spreads it out, and improves the chances of landing on it. And it also like reduce the return of hitting something like Dogecoin, but also reduces the pain of one that really underperforms, right? And kind of smooths it all out. And so just kind of focus on specific data sets and saying, look, these data sets outperformed these data sets. And but hidden in there are a couple of monsters. And what we all want is to land on the monster. And it just becomes real hard if you don't have many. But that's a personal choice for you. Thank you, Richard. John Trade says, hey, BCB, can you take a look at the dot chart? Oh, I got that one. Thank you, John. Ottawa Frank, I just finished the newsletter series, and it was such fire. I want to thank you so much for bringing these markets to life for us day in and day out. Without BCB, they are just lines on the screen. Happy holidays. Ottawa Frank, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Very kind. Generous super chat, generous words, kind words, and of course, a little review there of the newsletter. Thank you, brother. Sick Thinker gifted a BCB membership. Sick Thinker, thank you. We're at 49 minutes, guys. I got to get going. Anton Helgren super chatted. Thank you very much. Cash Me Outside gifted a BCB membership. Cash Me Outside, thank you very much. Cash Me Outside helped pull a lot of the data. When I was trying to compare a lot of different stuff, and we needed to pull some specific stuff from CoinMarketCap and from CoinTrader Pro, and Cash Me Outside really helped me pull a lot of it. Thank you, man. Anton Helgren, back again. There we go. Look at how Cardano is following a recent pattern from 2020. Copy July of 2020 through February of 2021. An overlay on the price from July 15th of 2023 onwards. Okay, what are we doing here? Are you going like this? Well, yes, we would all love that. We would all think that is amazing. I think the crazier thing about Cardano, just in general, like one, okay, look, like this thing, like you missed the bottom. The bottom has been gone. For those who are still thinking, you know, your high quality assets are going to be waiting for you for your Bitcoin dominance, all your stuff has left you. Cardano, right? Solana, AVAX, they all left you. If you're the Bitcoin dominance watcher, because you don't realize that the Bitcoin dominance is heavily impacted by a couple of metrics, and the others' dominance reversed months ago, right? It reversed a long time ago. It reversed over 6 months ago, which we've shown throughout the market. Where are you? There you go. With Cardano. Yeah, I think the most interesting thing to me with Cardano is just the price action of it compared to Ethereum Classic back in 2017. It literally did the exact same percentages here for Ethereum Classic, shifting its way up, and then these peaks coming in at the same points, and then not only that, then the corrections come in at the same distance as well. And I find that to be absolutely amazing, and then also to reflect back on the strong relationship of Charles Hoskinson with Ethereum Classic and Ethereum from the past, and how these things aligned, and do we have similar market makers working the same thing going on here? Maybe so. But yeah, I mean, of course, we would all love that. Who wouldn't be happy if, hey, that's what we're doing right now? I'd take that. I'd take it all day. But yeah, you know, we'll see if it's moving at that speed right now. Thank you, Anton. Derek Wittis, UBCB, are you a huge fan? What? I don't know what that is. Of drinking shower beers. I don't know what that is, bro. Kevin Rasmussen says, hey man, I've super chatted you a few months ago. I just want to let you know I'm still around and I love what you do. You've taught me so much and literally changed my life from someone who is spending money on the wrong stuff. I'm so appreciated, man. Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. That's a big one. I appreciate it, brother. I just appreciate the kind words, man. Whatever you did to change your life, you know, that was you. I just played this little small character in it, the guy you watched on YouTube, but everything you did was you, buddy. Thank you. Peter, BCB, historically, days from Dow Jones top to alts top. Historically, days from Dow Jones Industrial Average top to alts top. We'd have to go through a lot of those to calculate when those end up happening on how many days it ends up taking for alts versus for tops to come in. You could overlay that stuff. I mean, I teach you guys how to do all that stuff. That's the point of all of this stuff, guys, and the way I communicate and the way I show you do. There is no secret, massive Bollinger regression instinctual band. Like, there's no secrets here. Like, I show you exactly how everything is done to just kind of put it into your fingertips and try to explain it in an easy to understand way. You can put on the altcoin market here. You can go put on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You just compare, use the compare feature, add the Dow, and then go start doing your calculations here and find out how many days. And you can calculate all that stuff yourself right in there. But I'm not going to be able to start counting all of these live. But thank you. But just, go to the little plus, add Dow Jones, and then, do your thing. Kevin Smith, dude, you said when Dow Jones Industrial Average hits all-time high, Bitcoin would too. I got my grandma to sell her house and buy it $44K. Now I'm not allowed over for Christmas. Kevin, thank you, sir. Kevin's a big supporter of the channel. He put the spice at the end. He knows. I'm going to trigger him. Kevin, thank you, brother. Josiah, are you expecting certain coins to hit their 4.236 extensions while total 3 only goes into retracements? We'll have to see how the market reacts, Josiah. I don't know right now. Nothing has done it yet. So we'll have to see how the market reacts at the time and look for confluences all at the same time. If you have the Dow Jones Industrial Average hitting the 4.236 extension, if you have Bitcoin hitting its 702 retracement, and you have the altcoin market hitting the 702 retracement, all at that exact same time, what's your thoughts going to be at that time? Because whatever's happening in the market at that time, that's probably going to be my thoughts too, right? So just waiting to see the market play out. Simeon, thank you. Hey, BCB, good morning. As Bitcoin reaches retrace levels and reaches 702 extension, you're expecting alts to increase significantly also, or waiting until Q1 2024 for alts to really jump? I would suggest watching yesterday's video, brother. I really kind of showed what's going on. There we go. Close that. What's going on with my thoughts in regards to altcoins. I would just, rather than going into a long explanation, brother, put out a whole 25-minute video talking all about it yesterday. That paints the synopsis. I could give you some 2-minute canned answer that's not going to paint the whole picture, but if you watch yesterday, it'll give you a really, really good picture. And if any of you guys haven't watched yesterday, please do. TG, 6 months. Thank you for your patience and guidance, BCB. I hope you and your family have a great Christmas. Thank you very much, TB, member for 6 months. And Simeon, thank you very much. Jack Long says, hey, BCB, were you expecting total 2 to spring out before a reversal? 1.27? Where are you expecting total 2 to spring out to before a reversal? Oh, you said total 2. The first area of concern is right here at like 1.03, 1.04. This area right here. That's the first one of big concern. Right? And it's important to like pay attention to, like, there's so much influence in here with total 2 and with total 3 of stable coins in there, right? So if you subtract the stable coins, you kind of get a better picture in here of where that really is. So subtract stable coins, and about $911 billion is the area of interest of the first one. But retracement levels go much higher than that, right? They go way up there. But 50% lands right around there. So there we go, guys. All right. Questions fielded. A lot of the questions kind of were like, maybe hadn't seen the video from yesterday. So make sure you watch yesterday's video. Put a lot of time into that. And every day that you have a little bit of volatility, guys, you just keep it calm, right? Like, there's going to be lots of ups. There's going to be lots of downs, even in an uptrend. And when you're in an uptrend, there's typically the wall of worry. And then once that wall of worry is no longer there, And when there's unwavering confidence, that's when you actually need to be really worried. So, and I know we kind of poked fun at that today, talking about, retail always being wrong, but it's not fun. It's not poking fun. It's being very, very real. The crowd is always wrong. And we know that. We watch it happen over and over. And you guys who have been with the channel for the whole time, a lot of you guys have been through C19 with the show. You've been through Tesla buying Bitcoin. I sold that same week. Tesla was buying Bitcoin. Right when they did it, boom, I started executing between $45,000 to $58,000 on my Bitcoin. Laser eyes, diamond hands, all that stuff. It marks the top. The crowd is wrong. We fall down. Just admit it's a bear market. The crowd is wrong. It goes back to the new all-time high. The crowd is wrong again. They say we're going to 100K. Then it falls and they say we're going to 12K for a year and a half. We know the crowd is wrong. And it's one of those things we just have to always remember. And that's a very difficult thing. And I mentioned that as a YouTuber, when it's very beneficial to appease the crowd. As a YouTuber, it's, but then there's the other aspect of it too. Obviously it works for me to go against it. But you got to remember how much content is there to appease what people are searching, right? There's a lot of research done into what are keywords people searching for, what are they wanting to watch, what kind of content are they wanting to watch right now. If fear mongering is paying, people will create fear mongering content. If super YOLO bullish content is paying, people will create super YOLO bullish content with their mouths wide open, right? Oh my gosh. But we'll always keep it real, and I have no problem with the Twitter people screaming at me. That's just let them do it. Part of the gig. So, all right. That is it. One more day till Christmas break, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much for the generous super chats and memberships and hanging out in the chat with me. And we're surviving through what has otherwise been a good year. If you don't know that, it doesn't matter what asset you own. And yes, XRP holders, you are up 100% this year. Whether you know it or not, you are up 100%. We have had a green 2023. It has been up this year. Maybe not at the speed people wanted, but it takes some time for things to turn themselves around, and we are up. There is the beginning of 2023, and there we are as we're getting near the end. It may not be at the speed everybody wants, but in the right direction, and that we'll take that for what we can. But otherwise, Gator, brother, thank you very much. Gifted 5 BCB memberships. On that note, guys, we'll go through the wrap up of this thing. Of course, you guys go check out bcbacker.com over here for over 40 videos and over 11 hours of content to absolutely blow your mind of wonderful content that I did record earlier this year. This took me over 3 months to record over 40 videos over here and put them on here, deep diving into the historical behavior of the crypto market. Downloadable PDFs in here teaching you about Elliott wave theory, Wyckoff method, how to set up your own charts and indicators. And of course, trying to do this in an easy to understand way. I do understand everybody's on a different learning curve when it comes to all this stuff, and trying to think of it from that aspect, and not just targeting it, and creating it towards somebody who has never opened a chart before in their life, but also thinking about the person who probably has been doing this for years and something, showing you something maybe you've never known before. And at the same time, trying to explain it just like I do on the YouTube channel. Here's an easy way to understand it. Here's an easy way to do it and not overwhelm you. That's available over here on bcbacker.com. And of course, the work of the last several months, and really another just 2023 priority for me to get this done before this year was over, to really grasp what the heck happened in 2021 versus 2017, what data points mattered. Seems like we found them. The report has been put out in a newsletter form with a case study. That's available over there on Substack. Gator says, have a blessed day with Super Chat. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. I'll check in with you again soon. Tomorrow will be an action-packed fun day before we get going for the Christmas break. And, of course, tomorrow is Wednesday, my dudes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers Got your back. Thank you, Eric. Have a good one.